Hello everyone, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online. So I did fast travel back to Limsa after doing some of the side quests and kind of just finishing off Aleport. Nothing too crazy, but what are we going to name my little Coeurl kitten here? If you have any name ideas, let me know in the comment section down below. Not sure how long this little one will be following me, but you know. But anyways, we are going to talk to Baderon. So, since we did Sastasha last time. Who are these guys? I was to say, it's like, such a task was on the books. Was, mind. I'm afraid that ship's already sailed, friend. Might you be the adventurer who accepted the job of investigating Sastasha? Yeah, that was me. Huh. It would seem that ship has not only sailed, but now returns to harbor. None the worse for its voyage. A pity. We dragged our boots too long on this one. No matter. The wheel will turn and our chance will come. His name is Dolorous Bear? Oh. You're right, of course, but there shall be no rest till we've attained our goal, lofty though it may be. Kikina. Not a wink of sleep, great leader. Okay. Our aim, lest you wonder, is to perform such feats of heroism as will earn us a place in the songs of every alehouse in Eorzea. We mean to write a legend, which will inspire adventurers yet unborn to follow our shining example. Do you have such a goal? Large or small, it matters not. Only have a star to reach for, and you will reach higher. Purpose can sustain you through times of hardship. Keep your eye on the prize, and all obstacles will be overcome in time. I mean, that's wise words. From a man named Dolorous Bear, you know? You would not think to stride into battle unclad, would you? Well, goals are as arms and armor for the spirit. I wish you fortune in your endeavors, milady. Well, I mean, that was really nice of you. I appreciate the pep talk. I mean, they seem like chill people. Back then, are ya? With all your limbs and a tale to tell, I wager. Yeah, there was a bunch of pirates, and there was reavers, and one guy got killed by a Sahagin. Fishbacks. And there I was thinking you'd only have to crack a pirate skull or 3. 7 L's. You turned your back for 5 bloody minutes and the scaly bastards have set up shop in your bleeding doorstep. Still sounds like you left them in pieces, so I don't suppose they'll be carrying out whatever mischief they was planning, unless they was planning on feeding themselves to the fauna of Sastasha, of course. Any roads, all's well that ends well. On behalf of Limsa, I thank you for shedding some light on that mystery. You've lived up to your reputation, and I couldn't ask for more than that. Now I'll bet you're dying for a rest, but just in case you're not, I was wondering if you might be interested in taking on another job. It just so happens that I've had a request from our sister guild in Gridania, see? Seems the folks are in need of adventurer that can get things done. For them to ask for help like this, you can bet the task won't be a skip through a sunny glade, but after you've dealt with our fishback infestation, I doubt it's anything you can't handle. Give us a shout when you're ready, and I'll lay it out for you. I suppose. What's in Gridania? Ooh, Party Finder unlocked. Nice. So now that we have the Party Finder, we can actually just find groups finding random stuff, so... I really do like the Party Finder, because you can find people that are just doing, like, fate farming, or you can find people that are specifically doing dungeons, that sort of thing. You can essentially find anything with Party Finder, as long as there's people online to do it, so that's pretty cool. Alright, Baderon, what's going on in Gridania? Ready to hear about the job, then? Like I said, the request comes from our sister guild in Gridania. And that's all I know, but whatever it is that you've been asked to do, I somehow doubt it'd pose any trouble for an adventurer that survived the bedlam in Sastasha. If you think it might be interested, you'll want to have words with Mother Mune, which is my counterpart in Gridania. Good luck. I love Mother Mune. She's amazing. Okay, so since we are essentially done in Limsa, we are going to go ahead and go to the airship landing. We're just going to fly straight to Gridania. Sorry if I sniffle a lot. The weather's getting colder. My allergies are killing me right now, so... Alright, so we are going to go ahead and go to Gridania, pay our 120 gil. Goodness gracious. And while we're there, we can actually pick up the tools for the aesthetician, which I was telling you guys about last time, so that's not bad either. I actually wasn't going to record today, and then I slept for 2 hours, and now I'm wide awake, and I'm mad at myself for it. Here's Mother Mune. She's so cute. Hey, what's up? Take a seat wherever you like, friend. Our waitress will come to take your... Oh, not here to dine? Dare I hope that you're the adventurer Baderon sent word about? You are, the matron be praised. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mune, and the Carline Canopy is my place. With regard to the task in question, there is a fair bit to tell. Let me know when you're ready to hear the details, and I shall brief you. Okay, well, lay it on me. What's going on? I know it has to do with the Ixals, I bet. Ready for that briefing? Good. Now then, here's the long and short of it. Beg pardons for... Oh, this is someone else. Beg pardons for interrupting, Mune, but our need grows ever more pressing. Has none stepped forward? And good evening to you too, Bowlord. Your need must be pressing indeed for you to honor us a visit. The good news is, your journey hasn't been wasted. I'm pleased to report that we have a volunteer at last, and one who comes highly recommended at that. My thanks for answering the call, friend. My name is Lewin, and I lead men and women of the gods' quiver. Now, time is of the essence, so I shall proceed directly to the heart of the matter. We wish for you to nip a potential threat to Gridania in the bud. Beneath the central shroud, there lies an underground burial site called the Tam-Tara Deepcroft. Oh, Tam-Tara! Nice, nice. The place was once a Gelmoran settlement, but we Gridanians have long interred our dead there. Of late, however, shadowy figures have been seen skulking about the Deepcroft with ever-increasing regularity. Based on the accounts of various witnesses, we suspect that these individuals belong to the Lambs of Dalamud, a doomsday cult which sprung up prior to the calamity. These zealots have proven themselves dangerous in the past, and we leave them to their own devices at our own peril. Ordinarily, I would have dispatched my best men to scour the Deepcroft with orders to flush the cultists out. Alas, the calamity decimated our ranks, and the limited forces at my disposal are constantly required to keep the Ixal at bay. The birdmen have grown restless of late, and I fear a storm may be brewing. In anticipation of this, I have been compelled to spread out our forces throughout the Twelveswood, lest we be taken unawares. The situation so being, we must turn to others to deal with the Lambs of Dalamud. Can we rely on you to undertake this task, friend? Hell yeah, I'll take on a doomsday cult. You have my gratitude. Once you've seen to your preparations, pray, make your way to the Deepcroft and identify yourself to the guard posted at the entrance. He will appraise you of the latest developments, that is all. Be careful out there, you hear? May the crystal guide and keep you. Nice! We get to go handle a cult! Here's the thing, like, I've been to the Tam-Tara Deepcroft, but it has been so long since I have played A Realm Reborn, I kind of forgot about the actual, like, name of the cultists. And so, like, part of me is like, holy crap, they have a name? They're not just like, oh, we think there's demons in there, or Void Scent, you know, as they're called. Nah, they're like, this is a cult that we knew was there, but they're getting worse. Oh, gosh. Like, that's something I love about this playthrough, is, like, I'm not only, like, remembering stuff, but, like, at the same time, it's like I'm learning new things. I'm learning new things that maybe I missed last time. So, the only issue, of course, as I said before, is that, everything's so very spread out in Gridania. Black Rabbit Traders. I want to purchase items, please. Whoa, form-fitting plain Newtonic? Is that just a t-shirt? Oversized plain Newtonic. And a plain Newtonic. That's just a t-shirt. Why are they just selling t-shirts? Oh, these are glasses. Simple spectacles. Oh, I already have a cherry bomb. I was just looking because, like, there are, of course, things we can buy from the Black Rabbit Traders, and, I'm selling the ether, I don't need it, and they're expensive, I can't afford it right now, but, Um, yeah, they're selling t-shirts now? What the crap? But yeah, we are on our way. So I did go to the, oh god, what is it? The Carpenters Guild is what it is. And I picked up, yeah, the Carpenters Guild. It literally says right there, dummy. So yeah, I went there and I picked up the tools for the aesthetician. Like I said, he basically just said, he was like, really? That guy lost his tools again? Whatever, here you go. Very unimpressed with his very addled-brained friend, who's totally not a slasher, but is just a very weird guy walking around with scissors, so... I'm drinking cappuccino, and I'm very happy about it. So this is the central shroud. Gridania itself, like, is surrounded by what is called the Black Shroud. The Black Shroud is controlled by forces just called the Elementals, and there's a very strict balance that Gridanians kind of strive for. They are harmonious with nature, because if they're not, the Elementals get very angry and will cause all sorts of destruction. So if you play through the Gridanian storyline, one of the things you'll battle is a giant, like, ent. And the reason you have to do this is because someone is messing with balance, and, you know, they're messing with the balance of things, and the Elementals get really angry, and so they summon a big angry tree, and then you have to fight a big angry tree. Someone, oh man, and I kind of like, I want to make a comment, but I don't want to give spoilers, but like, if you start in Gridania, like, the story just kind of becomes so much more messed up later on down the line. So, I am just gonna do this little event real quick. Also, I don't know why I'm so, like, zoomed in lately. But, no, the game did just update recently, too. I think they were doing hot fixes for, like, the latest episodes and stuff that they dropped. So, because I know that they said that they knew about, like, some errors in the latest, like, little bits of Dawn Trail that were dropped. I didn't run into any issues with that, so... At least not yet, but I hadn't played, like, the new content. I need to do that this weekend. That's kind of, like, one of my goals, among many goals. But I at least wanted to get at least one video done before I go back to fate farming and everything else. So... I think they were dropping some new Oculent Crescent stuff here. I don't know. Listen, if you guys, for the veteran players, if you guys end up wanting me to get the relic weapon for A Realm Reborn and doing that grind, y'all better help me with materials. Like, one of y'all better be an Omni Crafter or something, or else we are just gonna have, like, all sorts of issues later on. Part of me wants to do these quests, but, like, part of me does not. I will probably come back and do them. Because, like, they're not going to offer me anything as far as experience with me already being level 24. At this point, it would really just be for the gold. And I'll probably come back and do them. I'll save them for when I'm leveling, like, some other class or something. Alright. So here's our Dolores Bear. So we meet again. Cannot say I'm surprised to see you here. You took the prize back in Limsa, but this time we'll give you a better sport. Or, I am no true adventurer. Think of our goal, sister. One day our adventures will be the stuff of song, and it'll all be worth it. Gods, I hate mausoleums. It's not right to disturb the dead in their slumber. I mean, yeah, you're right. I shudder to think what might have happened to Ul'dah had I not thought to pick the fruit I stumbled across on the way here. Sometimes he has too much vigor for his own good. Age is supposed to mellow us, but if anything, it's just made him more impetuous. I understand his desire to make use of the time left to him, but one misstep and there won't be any. Are you talking about this old man? Childish curiosity prompted me to commit the most elementary of blunders. Were it not for the fruit that Alien found, my adventures may well have ended in this forbidding place. Always look before you leap. In my haste, this most fundamental rule of adventuring slipped my mind. I do believe I shall rest here a while. Oh, okay. Anyways, so here's the mausoleum. We have a bunch of magic bones. If you're wanting to know more about the Gelmorans, I can't really help you much. I know that there was several different... Oh gosh, how do I even say it? It's not countries. Kingdoms? No. No. Societies? I don't know how to put it. There was a bunch of different groups of people. There was the Alligans, and I believe the Gelmorans were probably one of those. But I know that there was the Nimians, the Alligans, the Magi, and something else. And they all were kind of having it out in these huge wars way back in the day. And, like, now there's a bunch of ruins and stuff. And I think the Gelmorans were one of those as well. You're Samutari, I take it. Thanks for helping us out, friend. No doubt the Bow Lord has already informed you, but your task is to enter the Deepcroft and purge it of the Lambs of Dalamud. In case you're unfamiliar with them, the cult emerged shortly before the Calamity put an end to the 6th Astral Era. The cultists took the Lesser Moon Dalamud for their god, believing that it would deliver us from devastation. And so they were rather disappointed when Dalamud exploded into 1,000 flaming pieces before it could complete its descent. Now, having seen their god turn to ash, one would think that the cultists might feel moved to question their faith. On the contrary, it served only to stoke the flames of their fanaticism. The Lambs of Dalamud are convinced that heretics, that is to say, everyone but them, interfered with the coming of their Lord and Savior, and that it's now their sacred duty to avenge him. Whatever it is they're doing in the Deepcroft, you may be sure that no good will come of it. For the sake of Gridania and Eorzea at large, put an end to their madness. Okay, so Tam-Tara Deepcroft is now accessible. So, what's essentially going to happen is we are going to do dungeons. We already did one in Limsa. This is the one in Gridania. We will have one that we will do... we will have one that we do in Ul'dah as well. So, again, tank privileges, like easy queue, easy queue, as long as the DPS gets off the toilet. That's a joke too, by the way. There's always like one DPS that's like late to the party or doesn't queue, and the joke is that because it takes so long for DPS to queue up, because you know basically they're relying on healers and tanks. If a DPS doesn't queue right away, it's because they decided to go to the toilet right before queue pop, and now they can't get to the queue on time because they're on the toilet. So it's kind of just an inside joke. I think it's funny because I'm usually DPS, so you know usually it's me in that predicament. Okay, so we might be in for a little bit of trouble. The queue did not pop. Now, when this happens, what you have up here is you have this little counter. It is about 6 in the morning. I didn't even have to wait to get into the server. This could mean that basically stuff's kind of dead right now. And, you know, time of day does matter, server does matter, but also dungeon matters as well. There might not be people doing these early dungeons. If this does happen, we could go in with NPCs. I really don't want to go in with NPCs, but we could. And I could kind of show what that looks like, which might not be a bad idea. I've never done these dungeons with NPCs before, but it does say that we are waiting for like more than 30 minutes, and I don't want to sit here for more than 30 minutes. So, like I said, maybe I'll just try going for NPCs. If it doesn't pop again. Let's see if DPS, there we go, queues up this time. Good old Tam-Tara. Tam-Tara scares me later on in hard mode. Easy mode it doesn't scare me, but hard mode it does. Alright. Unfortunately, I still do not have my AoE. I mean, not my AoE. I don't have my ranged. So, I do have these guys pulled to me, though. I am going to try and make big pulls. I do want to get through this as much as possible. Oh yeah, someone was actually giving me, like, a lot of good advice. I pressed the wrong mitigation, but someone did actually, like I said, they did give me good advice. They were like, hey, pop your big mitt when you have, like, a big group, and then obviously pop your smaller one when the group gets smaller, so definitely appreciate the advice. Okay, so we don't have to go into that room, so I'm not going to. In these early dungeons, there are a lot of extra rooms. Really, they often hold treasure chests, like I said before. Nothing too crazy. So... who do we have? We have a archer, and we have a black mage. They're not a black mage yet, though. I think they're just a thaumaturge, right? I don't think that's a symbol for black mage. I think that's a symbol for thaumaturge, but I'm not sure. I don't remember. So it seems like we got two early people, and then we have a sage. To pull you all over here. Oh, I forgot the one's a spellcaster. So that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Either way, this is the guy we're after anyways. Come on over here. There we go. He'll have some attack he's gonna do. That's orange. Think. Maybe not. And then I just stunned the crap out of him. Open treasure coffer. Do the cultist orb. I'm gonna pass on that. That's for Disciples of Magic. Don't need it. So our goal is we have to, DPS, stop pulling, please. I'll say I don't have my shield, so... or I don't have my shield lob. I mean, I do. This is shield bash, but I don't have my shield lob. The only problem is there is this man right here. I can pull him. Where are you going? The person playing a sage, they are a veteran. So there is that. What's this? Could greet it, but... so I'm trying to pull these guys into like a nice little like line, which is why I pulled them into the hallway. I did not expect people to go behind me. Where the archer is, I think is perfect, because they could literally attack everything. But it seems the party is a little bit, just a little bit impatient. Like that guy, I didn't even get to pull him. Because, legit, they pulled aggro before I could get there. This is one of those things where I'm like, you know, it's an early dungeon, so it doesn't matter, but you want to keep good behaviors throughout. I know a lot of people are just like, well, you know, it's an early dungeon, it doesn't matter much, but always try to have the same behaviors as you would in like a big dungeon, you know. Don't need that. I'll greet that. Yeah, essentially this black mage and this sage are a no-nonsense bunch. They just want to get through this as fast as possible. And trust me, I get it. Tam-Tara is like the bane of my existence. I totally get it. The sage is running ahead, essentially telling me how far they want me to go. So that's basically the sage saying, like, don't worry, I can handle the healing, just grab all these guys all at once. And, you know, it really is an unspoken language. I don't like the healer running ahead like this. The tank is generally the one that's supposed to lead, but this person is essentially taking it upon themselves to do that, because they know the dungeon. And again, this could be a sign of them trying to teach. This could be them being impatient. We can't really assume. But they're saying, hey, big pulls, big pulls. And, yeah. They're wanting us to pull all the way past into this other boss area. I don't really feel the need to do that. But I can. It's just, you know, like I said, if they're willing to do it, if they're willing to keep me alive, then sure. But it feels like they're not going to keep me alive. Okay, they did keep me alive, thank God. But being in a hall like this with this many enemies, Tam-Tara's not really laid out very well. So... And like I said, my Eclipse move is great and all, but it only does so much. Now this guy, we can pull all the way over here. So, back there you couldn't see it, but there was a barrier. We cannot pass it until we get the secret rosary, and the rosary is back here in this corner. So again, I'm just pulling all... And I'm trying to get everybody into as neat a little ball as possible, so one, I can hit them all with Eclipse to keep aggro, and two, also just to keep them off the DPS and the healer. Alright, now we can grab the rosary. Yeah, leave me alone. I have the rosary. Stop trying to do my job. Now, anybody can technically grab any item, but whoever's in front, it generally is gonna do it. So... Alright, now I am going to try and grab all these guys to me. It's just easier this way. These are the small fry, but of course we will still have the big guy as per usual. I am going to go ahead and just try and pull him over here. Now sometimes what can happen is someone can already like just grab one of the cultist orbs. Sometimes people do that, sometimes people don't. Kinda just depends. And of course, one can stay in one place, one can stay in another place. We are gonna get a cutscene. Whether or not they let me watch the cutscene, that's a different story. Okay. Yeah, so they're already fighting the boss. They shouldn't be doing that. So, again, you know, I know it doesn't matter too much in these early stages. But they should have left this to me. They shouldn't have pulled the boss, knowing that I was in a cutscene. Again, this is rude behavior. And it's not very typical, so just don't take it as anything other than what it is, really. They were impatient, you know. One of the veterans probably pulled first, and the poor archer kind of just got pulled into it. Either that or they don't really know too much of what they're doing, considering they're not really killing the ads like they're supposed to. So I guess I'm going around killing these. I know technically I can grab these, but there is a way for other people to grab them. And that is down and done. So that was a mind flayer. So we did kill a mind flayer. Alright, for loot, I'm gonna pass on that. Player comm. I'll give it to the archer, since everybody else dipped. And I didn't even get a single player comm. Ay, ay, ay. So anyways, now we have to go back to Mother Mune. Ah, boy. So like I was saying before, that's not typical behavior. Now, a lot of that I could have basically I could have maybe kept them from running ahead by saying, like, hey, I'm new. But the thing is like, I feel a little conflicted. I'm not new. Not really. And so, like, one of the things that I don't like doing is I don't like pretending to be a newbie. But at the same time, like, you can tell when someone's in a cutscene. And if someone's choosing to watch the cutscene, I like to assume that maybe they're getting a drink. Or, you know, maybe they just kind of want to, like, prepare themselves mentally because maybe they do have anxiety or something like that. Like, I basically don't let it bother me. You know, okay, I have to wait an extra 30 seconds to get a dungeon over with. It's not going to kill me in any way, shape, or form. You know, I have no need to be impatient. I'm essentially playing a video game, you know, like I said, an extra 30 seconds, minute, whatever. It's not going to hurt anything. So, I don't sit there and impatiently, like, go, oh my god, hurry up, or anything like that. And I let people watch cutscenes, because during cutscenes, like I said, I'll take a moment, I'll sip my cappuccino, you know, I'll eat, like, some M&Ms or something, you know, like, it's a good way to kind of refresh for a minute, you know, just for a good 30 seconds. I'll even, like, crack my knuckles, or, you know, pop my fingers, whatever I gotta do, you know, and just prepare for the boss fight. So, but unfortunately, one of the issues you might run into with A Realm Reborn is because there are more veteran players than there are new players. People have played these dungeons like 8,000 times. So it's kind of like, I don't know, you can either play with NPCs and get, I think, a more stale experience, because the NPCs don't really, I mean, they teach you, sure, but they're not players, you know, so the interaction's gonna be a bit more mechanical. So you can either play it that way, or you can risk playing with randoms, and then, you know, you're kind of at the whim of the random, whether or not they are going to be understanding and patient, or impatient. So again, what you see from my gameplay, don't take it as the whole community, because I can tell you from experience that I just had generally does not happen. That's one of the rare exceptions where people are just being impatient. But again, it's also 6 in the morning, so people are probably tired. Welcome back, Sam. I'm reliably informed that your foray into the Deepcroft was a success. Yeah, we killed a squid man. Nor did I expect anything less. Baderon's ringing endorsement left me with little doubt as to your capabilities. Even so, you are to be commended. Lord Lewin asked me to pass on his thanks. I must say, it's something of a relief to be able to call upon such a capable adventurer. Sadly, death has become an ever more common occurrence within our fraternity of late. Times being what they are, the guild is constantly inundated with petitions, and we're hard-pressed to find enough hands to deal with them all. While this means no shortage of work for able souls such as yourself, it also provides ample opportunity for the inexperienced to overreach themselves, with predictable consequences. Ah, as if to illustrate the point. Oh yeah. Levine. Avery is gone, and it's all your fault. If it hadn't taken you an age to heal him, he would still be alive. Edda. But I tried. He bolted out of range before I could finish the spell. He shouldn't have been so hard-pressed in the first place. We should have done more to lighten his burden. Bah, to hell's with this pathetic excuse for a party. I'm leaving, and it'd be too soon if I never see your faces again. Goodbye and good riddance, Pio-Ryo. I'm leaving as well. I doubt this comes as any surprise, but I never liked you. I only suffered you for your healing, but you couldn't even do the one thing right. Cruel though it may sound, you brought this upon yourself. Oh, and by way of some parting advice, get rid of Avery's head. Bury it, cremate it, do whatever the hells you like with it, but for God's sakes, stop carrying it around. It's just get rid of it, alright? Wait, don't leave me alone, please. I'm sorry, Avery. Please forgive me. Scenes like this have become all too common. That makes 12 times in half as many days. Now you see why I'm grateful for adventurers of your experience. I can send women like you on a mission without worrying that you might not return. Well, not so much at any rate. Speaking of missions, I would entrust you with another. About a bell ago, I received a message from my counterpart in Ul'dah. She seeks the services of a reliable adventurer, and you're nothing if not reliable. If you think you might be interested in the task, say the word, and I'll be glad to share the details with you. So that couple, or that, party right there, I don't know how else to put it. That party, that we just saw, there's something that you will run into again. And it has to do with the Tam-Tara Deepcroft. So just remember that party, okay? Remember Edda and remember Avery. So they will probably pop up again at some point. So you're not averse to taking a little trip. Wonderful. As I mentioned earlier, the request comes to us from the Adventurers Guild in Ul'dah. Once you arrive, seek out Momodi, the proprietress of the Quicksand. Think of her as the Sultanate's version of myself. Chances are she'll send you into the midst of danger, but I have every confidence that you'll pull through unscathed. Now off you go, and good luck. Okay, so are we still in level 15 territory? No, we're level 16 territory. And then Camp Drybone is level 15 territory. So no. I mean, yeah, I could avoid the airship fee, so yeah. Excuse me. Now she does have another thing for me, another dungeon, but we're not going to do that. But I am going to unlock this. Do be careful with those. Break anything and I shall be forced to deduct it from your salary. Beg pardon? What is my loyal manservant carrying? Why, a not so small fortune in prizes ably won by yours truly at the Gold Saucer. You have heard of the Gold Saucer, nay? Egads, woman, you might at least try and keep up with the times. It's only the Sultanate's newest and finest place of entertainment. Thrilled to the sight of majestic birds roaring down the straits at the chocobo races. Pitch your wits against your peers at triple triad tables. At the Gold Saucer, one can do all this and more, if you know what you're about. You'll walk out a wealthier woman than you entered. If there's a better place to shake off one's cares after a grueling day of promenading, I've never heard of it. Did I mention the prizes? Ah, but I dare say you'd rather discover them for yourself, yes? I'll wager you're wondering just how in Thal's good name you can experience the wonders of the Gold Saucer firsthand. Am I right, or am I right? I thought as much. Well, since this has been my lucky day, I don't see why it shouldn't be yours too. I just so happen to have a spare golden airship ticket, you see. Consider it a gift. From me to you, my lady. Just show that ticket to the fine lady over at the landing, and you'll have a seat on the next airship bound for revelry and riches. Be fairly warned, though, you may expect no mercy from me, should our paths cross at triple triad tables. Nay, not so much as an ounce. Okay, so we did get a ticket for the trip for the Gold Saucer. The Gold Saucer is an extra little bit of stuffs. It's one of those extracurricular activities. But yeah, you can essentially go there, play mini games, and I'll probably show it off here in a minute. Hey, Momodi. Welcome to the quicksand, friend. I'm a tad busy right now. If you wouldn't mind showing yourself to... Oh, it's you, Sam. And there I was, spouting the same tired line. Mune sent word that you'd be reporting for duty. She also made a point of calling you the adventurer of the moment. That ain't no small praise coming from her. But you didn't come all the way here to listen to my prattle. Doubtless you're eager to get started, so let's talk business, shall we? Yeah, let's talk business. The petitioner ought to be arriving any moment now. Gods almighty, another second under the sun and I would have been set afire. Take her to Vale if you'd be so kind. Oh, it's Papashan. Excellent timing, Papashan. It just so happens the adventurer who will be handling your petition is here. Oh, why, if it isn't my good friend Sam. It does my spirit well to know that you're the one who will be helping us. Mayhap you'd apprise Sam of her mission. Yes, of course. The petition in question was submitted by an acquaintance of mine at Amagina and Sons Mineral Concern. It relates to an unfortunate development at the Copperbell mines. To be plain, giants have seized control of the place. These giants are a clan known as the Hecatoncheires. Fearsome creatures who were sealed within the deepest depths of the mines during the bygone Thorn dynasty. Alas, it seems they have managed to break through the layer of rock which served to imprison them, and now prowl the tunnels where the miners ply their trade. The creatures are justifiably angry about their treatment at the hands of our ancestors, and their presence has forced the suspension of all mining activities on the site. It's no wonder they're angry. Didn't the Thorn dynasty come to an end over 300 years ago? You know your history well, milady. The people of that age used the Hecatoncheires to work their mines. By way of enchanted helms, they were able to bind the ferocious creatures to their will. But as is oft the way in such tales, these enchantments eventually failed, and the slaves rose up against their masters. In a desperate bid to contain the unbridled fury of the Hecatoncheires, our ancestors induced the collapse of the mine's lowermost levels. So it was that the great giant revolt was ended, buried beneath 100,000 tons of rock. Well now, that got me thinking. I seem to recall there being an article about Copperbell in the Mithril Eye a fortnight ago. It said the mines were being reopened, so as to meet the rise in demand for building materials. Like as not, our boys dug a bit too deep and freed the giants. Gods, to think the poor creatures are still alive and kicking after 3 centuries. That's a long time to nurse a grudge. They must be seething. Indeed! And that makes them a danger to us all. There will be no mining at Copperbell so long as they remain. For the sake of both peace and prosperity, they must be subdued. This is the task which we would have you undertake. I'll not deny that the mission will be rife with danger, but our need is great, and so I beg you, put an end to this sorry business. Yeah, I'll go fight me some giants. Gods bless you. I fear you might have reservations, but I assure you it is for the best. In case you don't know, Copperbell mines are in western Thanalan. Do take care, you hear? Ah, and one last thing before you depart. An employee of Amagina and Sons is presently at the quicksand. The fellow's name is Painted Mesa, and he knows Copperbell mines well. It may behoove you to seek his counsel. Alright, I will find Painted Mesa and be behooved. Oh, you're right here. Behoove me. Looking for Painted Mesa? You found him. So, you're the adventurer who's volunteered to deal with the mess down in Copperbell, are you? You got guts, miss. I just hope you got the skills to go with them, because things ain't pretty down there. The Hecatoncheires have left the place in a right state and nary a week after mining resumed. I don't know if you know this, but Copperbell was old when the second Ul'dah dynasty was still young, and it was abandoned centuries ago. If it hadn't been for the shortage of materials needed for building, the concern would never have thought to reopen it. We knew full well about the giants beforehand, but the project went ahead anyways. I mean, nothing could possibly survive being buried under a mountain's worth of rock for 3 centuries, right? Wrong. Our miners dug up more than they bargained for. One swing of the pickaxe too many, and they found themselves in the company of giants. Unless we can subdue them, the nation's glorious recovery will grind to a halt for want of aught to build with. The stone torches are keeping watch over the entrance in case the giants fancy some sunlight and fresh air. One of them will be able to show you the way in. The hope of the nation's resting on you, friend. Best of luck. Well, that's great and all, but I'm going to the Gold Saucer. 'Cause stuffs. So, I will eventually get her quest, because that is the dance quest. But we're gonna be here a minute anyways, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to the airship landing. Because I want to go to the Gold Saucer. I feel like the Gold Saucer... I can talk. I feel like the Gold Saucer is such an utilized part of the game. So, I do have my golden ticket, and we are going to go to the Gold Saucer. Because I love the mini-games. Now, this cutscene is better when you go at night, but regardless. Look at that! Look at it! It looks so fun! That guy is me. Playing Triple Triad. What? I suck at Triple Triad. It's Senior Sabotender. And here we are at the Manderville Gold Saucer. And there are quests that take place here, so I mean, it's good to unlock this place anyways. And since it's free, I mean, why not? Manderville Gold Saucer is now accessible. Yay! Okay. So, like I said before, I feel like this area is very underutilized. There are a lot of things to do. Well, not like a lot. So I'm not going to read everything this guy said. He's basically just welcoming us, and what he does is he gives us a quest, which essentially gives us a tour of the Gold Saucer. But I will kind of just explain it as we go. So, when we get to this guy, he kind of just explains the Gold Saucer and everything that you're able to do. He's kind of shocked that it's your first time ever. Anywho, so at the Gold Saucer, there are a bunch of different mini games that you can play. Every hour, there is a different activity that happens. So there's like Leap of Faith, oh gosh, The Cut is Right, Air Force One. Yeah, like Leap of Faith, limited time event Leap of Faith is now underway. So I'll actually just show it to you. I'll come back to the Cactpot Broker. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go to Leap of Faith. So, as soon as I attune to this 8th right here. But there are limited time events. Whenever you do the limited time events, you earn what's called MGP. They are Manderville Gold Points, and they are the special currency of this area. Oh, it's my worst one. Ugh. Okay, so for Leap of Faith, I like to turn off my UI, because it helps me see. So Leap of Faith is a jumping puzzle, obviously. And not only is it a jumping puzzle, but you have to collect these, like, little trophies. And there's, like, a certain number of them. And there's bronze, silver, and a gold. So the bronze are usually in the path that you have to take, so they're not really hard to get. Silvers require some leaps of faith. Ha ha ha. And then gold, is the hardest to get. Now, here's a sound strategy. I don't immediately go for the gold, trophy, okay? Because it's always in a spot where one little slip up and you are back to the beginning. So I never, let's see, there's a bronze up there. Is there a silver up here? I don't see a silver up here. But yeah, it's always in a place where one little slip up and you're like donezo. You are just done. Done and done. Well, like that. So I will hardly ever go for gold right away. What I do is I get to the goalpost first, and then I go for the gold, because then I've essentially completed the map part, because you have to finish the puzzle. You have to get to the top, right? That's part of it. So I finish the map, and then I go for the gold. Now, if some of you are wondering why I suck so bad at this, it's because I am using mouse and keyboard, and you can't, like, there's no pressure to your jumps, like, so it's not like, oh, if I hold the button longer, I jump further, or whatever. Like, I don't know how to explain it, it's just the jump mechanics in Final Fantasy XIV are not good. At least I don't think they're good. That, and I have terrible depth perception. Like, really bad. Okay, so where is this silver? Okay, here are the silvers. Whoa. See, I can barely see that platform, which is why I turn off the UI. Generally. 3 silvers, damn. And this, to me, this map is one of the hardest ones, at least to me. Whoa. Alright, so I've completed the map, so that little glow means I've completed the map. Now it's a matter of getting that gold, which was the way I was heading before, which means it's going to be a pain in the butt. Whoa, I was right there too. Ugh. Actually, I can just go here. Nope. Oof. Back to the bottom. It also doesn't help knowing I have an audience. Whoa. My hand is already so sweaty. Like, if I could turn my camera just using, like... I mean, I guess I could just use buttons and do it that way, but it feels so weird not to use my mouse to turn my camera. Now, you do get time to do this. I forget how much time they give you, because I really don't like looking at the counter. That's another reason I turn off my UI, because then I'm not looking at the time. So it's like sometimes you'll just end up freaking like... Sometimes I'll panic if I look at the time, or I'll give up early thinking like, oh yeah, I can't do this. I've already wasted so much time. So I just tend not to do that. There we go. Okay. And there we go. Now once I have the gold, I look around, I make sure I don't have anything else, I turn my UI back on, and then I can press the goal, and I can leave the attraction. And we did it! Gate complete. And then it essentially tells you if you got everything. If you got everything, you should have 4,000 MGP. And of course there's achievements to get here as well, so it's nice. Ugh. Okay. Now that that little mini heart attack is over. And then once the, once that limited event is done, there will be more limited events. Air Force One is my favorite. You ride around in a little airplane and shoot targets. It is a on-the-rails shooter, I guess, but it's really fun. I think it's very simple, it's very fun. But the thing is they don't really have it that often. And I think that's the only thing that kind of disappoints me a little bit, is they don't have it very often. It seems like one of the more rare events that they have. And I'm sure that they do it, like, evenly, but to me it just seems like they don't do it enough. So MGP can be exchanged, MGP can be exchanged for various different things. Whoa. And, including, aesthetics, so like hairstyles and stuff. 3, 2, 1, 4. So we're not gonna be able to make 6, because you need 2, 3, 1 to make 6. But, if I can make 8, no, that's 9 already. Can't make 8. Could I make 21, maybe? No. Not unless this is a 9 or something. But anyways, a lot of this is just gambling, in a way. It's not, like, real gambling, so, like, yeah. Man. Okay, I didn't get the jackpot on any of those. But there's other things you can do as well. There's chocobo racing, there's mahjong. So, I don't know how to play classic mahjong, but yeah, there's chocobo racing, there's mahjong, there is triple triad, which if you've ever played Final Fantasy VIII and Final Fantasy IX, then you'll know all about triple triad. It's essentially a card game where biggest number wins, and there's some other things to it too, like, you know, certain cards have certain abilities, and therefore you can like create combos. There are different modes of play for triple triad, and some people really like it. Like my friend Marissa, she loves triple triad. I'm not a fan. I kind of just play it for the sake of getting the achievements. You do get cards as you do dungeons and stuff in the main game, and when you use them, it essentially puts them into a digital bank, like a digital card folder, I guess. And so you can collect the cards just to collect them, or you can collect the cards to actually use them to duel people across all of Eorzea. When somebody has a square above their head with the triple triad sign, which, let me see if it's on the map, because I just came from here. So when they have this square, it'll say triple triad match. You can go up and you can challenge those people to triple triad. And challenging people to triple triad and winning, if you beat everybody in like a Realm Reborn and collect like so many cards, there are mounts available that you can unlock only from doing triple triad. So there's also this, which is the fashion report. Essentially what the fashion report is that every week they have a fashion challenge, and they'll give you like this vague description of what they're looking for, and then you can present yourself for judging. And when you present yourself for judging, they'll essentially look you over and give you a score. Now here's the thing, you get MGP whether you do well or not. And I think it's like 10, oh god, is it 5,000 or 10,000? You get a decent chunk even if you don't do well. It's just the better that you do, the more MGP that you get. So, I usually don't care about the challenge. I just go present myself for judging. I get the base amount, and then I go from there. So yeah, 69.70. essentially, is just like the base. It means I didn't really do bad, but I didn't do well. And he'll be like, oh, so near yet so far, here's your prize. So yeah, it's 10,000 MGP. And that's not bad. Also, this lady has stuff that she sells, which is really cool. She's got some housing items. She has one of my favorite emotes. So... and she has an orchestrion roll. But yeah, one of my favorite emotes is the aback emote. So, you just look so startled. It's just like, it's one of my favorite, like, oh god. I love that one. I don't know. But anyways, so that's just some of the stuff that you can do at the Gold Saucer. There's also mini games scattered all around. So I love these things. They're really cheap. You only have to pay 1 MGP, but you only win like 25 at most. You know, if you get the pulverizing, right? So it's just little mini games like that. And there are weekly challenges for the Gold Saucer. So it's one of those things where it's like you can come in, do your little, like, size doesn't matter is almost complete. So it's one of those things that's like if you're waiting in between your events or whatever, then you can play these and get a little extra MGP. So, and we got 1,000 for doing that achievement, that weekly achievement, which is nice. So yeah, that's essentially the Gold Saucer. Not too crazy, nothing too insane. Except this statue of Mr. Manderville. And no, he never wears clothes, so if you ever see him, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, so there is so much to do. Now, like I said, for the Mahjong, I do not know how to play Mahjong. Obviously there are probably tutorials out there. There are people that will teach you all about it. But again, I know nothing about it. So one time I hopped into Mahjong thinking it was going to be like the laptop or the Mahjong on the computer where you just have to get rid of pieces until like you get rid of all the pieces. I didn't realize that that's not actually Mahjong. And so people were waiting for me to make moves and they were getting really mad because it was very clear that I did not know how to play it. So, yeah. I wouldn't recommend hopping in and doing Mahjong unless you actually know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're not only going to look silly, but you are going to make people very, very angry. Because they are going to get impatient and wonder why you are here. So, I mean, I guess when they said Dome and Mahjong, I should have known, but at the same time, I'm like, oh yeah, no, it's Mahjong. I know how to play Mahjong. Microsoft has that. Because I'm an idiot. Ooh, Moogle's Paw. The Moogle's Paw is more frustrating than fun, but for some odd reason, I love it. So if you've ever actually done like a claw machine, you know they only give you so many movements. This is the same. So first you use this button to go left and right, and then you have to do this to go up and down. And essentially you're trying to hover over the red one for the most points. 25. And so it's like I got the most points, so I'm happy. But yeah. It's more frustrating than fun, because sometimes it'll feel like I was, like, right there. I was right over the red ball, and the computer decides, nah, you're just a little bit off. And I'm like, no, I was right there. Don't lie to me. So, there's a couple other things that you can do as well. Oh gosh, I forget what they're called. Lords of Verminion. Lords of Verminion is like this like strategy game where you literally use your minions to take over a goalpost. So it's very tactics based. there are achievements for Lords of Verminion. I have not played enough Lords of Verminion to really explain it. And then there's like, I forget if it's called the Merry Miner or what it's called. It's something like that. It's something similar to that. But it's a mining mini game where you essentially have to use like this sonar thingamajig in order to mine up materials. I don't know how else to explain it. I tried it one time and I hated it. I did not know what I was doing. So it was more frustrating than fun. I'm sure if I went back and like tried to learn how it functions, I'd probably have a good time with it, but at the time that I did try it, I was not impressed, so. But yeah, once you finish talking to everybody that teaches you about their like little areas, you'll get these vouchers which will allow you to play 5 mini games for free. If you don't already have a bunch of MGP, you can actually buy it from this guy. But he'll only let you buy it if you have like less than 100. And then if you get any extra triple triad cards, so say I get a duplicate in a dungeon, you can actually sell it to these guys and they'll give you MGP for it. And then once you have MGP, you can go to the prize claim, and they have sections for weapons, they have sections for minions, music and furniture, like a whole bunch of stuff. So like I have 15,000 MGP right now. I can get like a water imp, a zoo hatchling. For 1 million I can get Fenrir, which oh my gosh, that is something I've been wanting forever, but I've never gotten it. Typhon, there's all these different mounts you can get, which are so cool. The Sabatender one is really, really cool. You can buy hairstyles that you can use, and then you can buy all these different dances. You'll see a lot of people using the bee's knees, and I mean for 80,000 MGP, obviously they'd want to show it off. But yeah, so there's all these things that you can buy. So you can get a gambler barding, you can get angel wings, you know, there's just so much. So tons of prizes, and then there's even more prizes down here. So you can even buy more hairstyles. You know, like I said, you can get that one for 14, and you can get this one for 5,000. So, I mean, and once you unlock those hairstyles, you can use them at the esthetician. So it's like, why not? They're cheap, you know? Give us some variety later. But yeah, so that's essentially the Manderville Gold Saucer. Nothing, like, too crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode here. Whenever I come back, we will be at the dungeon. I just wanted to show off the Gold Saucer. So anyways, that's all I have for this one. So leave a like on the series if you like it and if you want to see more. If you want to talk about the Gold Saucer or any fun little thing that you think is underutilized in Final Fantasy XIV, go ahead and drop that in the comment section down below. And lastly, thank you guys so much for your continued support on my videos. You know, it means the world to me. I'm glad you're liking this series as much as I am, so thank you guys so much. And as always, I will see you all in the next video. Alright, ciao you guys!